Hey guys, Slacker here, and I'm back for another South Park review. This time I'm going to be reviewing Season 7, so let's dive right into it. Episode 1 is cancelled, and this episode is kind of mediocre. It's basically a remake of the pilot episode, Cartman Gets an Anal Probe, and it's just really not all that funny. I enjoyed the whole thing with the Earth reality show, but besides that, I don't know, it's kind of forgettable. But luckily, things pick up with episode 2, Crazy Cripples. Timmy and Jimmy just have such great chemistry that pretty much any episode that focuses on those two characters is bound to be hysterical, and this episode is no exception. I mean, watching Timmy and Jimmy take part in a gang war is hysterical to me. So, yeah, this episode is awesome. Toilet paper is really funny. That's a really good Kyle episode. You see Kyle go through this emotional trauma and this feeling of guilt for toilet papering his teacher's house. So yeah, it's a really good dramatic episode amongst the four boys. I'm a Little Bit Country is definitely a standout episode in this season. This episode is all about the war and the whole argument about whether we should be fighting in the war. And the song at the end of this episode is hilarious. So yeah, definitely a standout episode. Fat Bud and Pancake Head was pretty funny. Little Crime Stoppers was good. South Park is Gay is a really great episode. I mean, the crab people thing at the end, spoiler alert, was hilarious. And this episode plays around with, stereotypes and talks about the perception of gay culture in our society. It's a really great episode. It's intelligent, it's funny, awesome. Christian Hard Rock. If you watched my Q&A video, you'll know that this is one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. It is so freaking awesome. I love this episode. It's basically about Cartman, Token, and Butters forming a Christian rock band and trying to con Christian people out of their money and just get rich off of it, off of like a fake Christian band. And as someone who grew up religious and grew up listening to Christian rock music, I definitely find myself agreeing with what the episode has to say. This episode also talks about piracy and illegally downloading music, and I also agree with what the episode has to say about that. It's just all around a clever, hilarious episode. One of the series' best. Casa Bonita is a really good Cartman episode. Just shows off how freaking evil that kid is. He basically convinces Butters it's the apocalypse in order to trick Kyle into letting him go to his birthday party at Casa Bonita, which apparently is a real place. Interesting fact. All About the Mormons is a really good episode about religion and Mormonism. This episode doesn't take the approach of just trashing on Mormonism and religion. It basically makes the point that, yeah, it's ridiculous, but it's okay if it makes them happy and if it makes them better people, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I still think the episode was really clever and really intelligent. Butt Out is definitely one of the best episodes of this season. It's all about smoking and the whole anti-smoking movement. Now, I'm not a smoker personally, but I've always, been okay with people smoking. I think if you want to smoke, it's your body. You should be able to do what you want without people, harassing and criticizing you like that. And that's definitely the message that this episode gets across. I can totally relate to the assembly scene. I'm sure a lot of you can also relate to that, just having these over-the-top motivational speeches and these little plays that are supposed to scare you out of smoking and doing drugs as a kid, and just how, brainwashing some of those can be. Although I don't, necessarily condone doing drugs or smoking, I think it's wrong to spread misinformation and spread hatred, even when it's a positive message. So yeah, great episode. Another really good one is Raisins. This episode is all about, Wendy breaking up with Stan and how Stan deals with that. It also has some funny scenes with Butters and how he falls in love with one of the Raisins girls, which is basically Hooters in South Park. The season finale is It's Christmas in Canada, which is another great South Park Christmas special. The Christmas specials tend to be some of the best episodes of the entire series. And although this isn't one of the best Christmas specials, it still is hysterical. As a Canadian myself, I always enjoy when South Park, rips on Canada. I don't take any offense to it. I think it's hilarious. But like I said, not one of the most, notable Christmas specials, but still definitely enjoyable. I think I'll eventually make a top 5 favorite South Park Christmas special video when I'm done reviewing the series. So yeah, that's the end of season 7. Not as good as season 6, but definitely keeps the momentum of the series going. And yeah, another great South Park season for the golden age of this series.